We are here today talking about blue belt form, NWA 2, NWA meaning unbroken glory. The form has 42 moves with 3 key ups on moves 13, 23, and 33. So again, going back to our little star, we are always going to start symbolically to the east, starting in the center. Phase A, move this way. B down toward the bottom, opposite of A. Phase B, and then C does a C, D, opposite of C, and D do the top square. So it's basically 2 squares. Like the purple belt form, the squares were over here. Blue belt squares are over here. This form I think is very easy to learn. And again, it's one of my favorites because it is A, B, opposite of A, opposite of B, C, D, opposite of C, opposite of D. So it's very easy to teach, very easy to learn, and it's very easy to remember what goes where. So this form begins phase A. We have an X block followed by a twin upset punch, followed by a right jump front kick, a left reverse upward elbow, a right punch. Conversely, the opposite of A is an X block, twin upset punch, left jump front kick, right reverse elbow, and a left punch. So these are all done, the whole line is done in a front stance, so it's very easy as far as front stances go. Remember, a front stance, your weight is forward, front knee bent, back leg straight as much as possible, both feet going the same way, and the balance should be in the center. The weight should be in the center and forward a little bit from the side. It will look like this. Again, front knee bent, back knee straight as much as possible, weight forward, toes going forward as much as possible. Sometimes it's not always possible to get that back foot straight based on a person's physical abilities, disabilities, but the goal is to keep both feet straight in a line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate A going to the side and then to the front. I will demonstrate the opposite of A going to the side and to the front, and then we will talk about some of the intricacies of the form. We'll talk about a little bit about the belief life skill and the student knowledge of balance. And of course, as always, we're going to cover base, trajectory, joint position, and follow through. So phase A, the very beginning, after we bow in, we step to the right. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look to the right, front stance, X block, twin upset block. Left foot is going to come to the right in a parallel stance, jump front kick, land, reverse upward elbow, aim, punch. So that is A to the side. I will now do it towards the front. So that is phase A, going to the side and towards the front. I will now do phase opposite of phase A, other side. Just exactly the opposite moves. Left front stance, X low block, twin upset punch, stepping to a parallel stance for that. Jump front kick, reverse upward elbow, front punch. To the front, it will look like and that is phase A and the opposite of phase A. Let's talk about some of the difficulties with this. One of them, I would say, is hand and foot timing on that upward elbow after that jump front kick. And this, we're going to talk a little bit about balance. Balance really comes into play with the jump front kick after we land. The key to that jump front kick, just like in yellow belt, we're going to step forward. We're going to jump straight up and do that kick. Our non-kicking leg is going to land right where it took off. That way we're not going to get off our line. It's not going to take us too far forward. Students sometimes have a tendency, again, like we talked about in yellow belt, is when they're doing those kicks, is they jump too far forward and then they get off their line. So again, the balance and the hand-foot timing is very critical on that jump front kick. So again, we want to, as we come to a parallel stance, we're going to jump straight up, kick. We have to rechamber that leg as we're chambering for the upper elbow to get the hand and foot timing correct. If we don't, we're going to fall forward, we're going to land in that front stance, and then the upward elbow is going to hit, which is not really our goal. The other way, again, going to bring this leg to a parallel stance, jump straight up, aim, and try and get that elbow to go up with the hand and foot timing of that front stance landing. Now, as we progress in our forms, we want our chambers to look less like chambers and more like a natural movement. So after that upward elbow strike, we're not just going to put this out for the chamber of the next punch. We want to be very smooth, be very relaxed about it. So again, looking frontwards, we're not going to go. We want to, after here, be relaxed to get that punch in. It's going to help us with speed. It's going to make it look a little bit more artistic, add the art to the martial arts part. And again, when we're learning, we want to be a little bit more deliberate with our chambers, but once we learn it and as we're advancing, we want to be a little bit more artistic, a little bit more smooth, a little bit more flowing. So base, we kind of talked about everything is in a front stance. X low block will start here. To an upset punch, we'll start here, with the exception the hands will be upside down. So we want to make sure that we have good beginning and ending positions for all of our moves. That's base trajectory. There's nothing unusual about this. The upward elbow, the trajectory is going up. Punches are just like they've always been. X block is going down. Purpose is to block something, a low front kick or a low strike. We'll talk a little bit about more of that in another video when we talk about the blocks. And that twin upset punch, we've talked about it before, starts here. Out, we turn at the last second, then we retract into the ribs. So there's really nothing special about joint position in here. We've talked about it all before. When we get to the next, and we talk about when we get to C, I believe it is, and we talk about those inward blocks, we'll talk about the joint position. The upset knife hand strike, we'll talk about the joint position. But here it's really pretty simple, not really any different from what we've learned up to this point. Now, one of the parts of belief is consistency. So if you want to get good at this, you've got to do this over and over again. You may have heard the statement, practice makes perfect. I don't really believe in that, because if you practice incorrectly, you're not going to become perfect. Practice makes permanent. So you need to practice correctly. So I don't like to use the term practice. I like to use the word train. So if I'm training, I'm allowed to make mistakes, and I want to get a little bit better every day. If I'm practicing and I don't get better every day, that's going to become permanent, and I'm going to do it wrong. One of my favorite sayings, and I like to use this a lot, is we're not going to practice until we get it right. We're going to practice until we can't get it wrong. Again, that's where consistency comes into play. We want to continually train, not till we get it right, but till we can't get it wrong. So that's phase A, and the opposite of phase B of the blue belt form. We will see you shortly in the next video.